Hey everyone, it's Muffin, and back in March I released a video on how to start playing TFT, and a lot of people watched it. It got quite a lot of attention, but then also a lot of people made a good point of I really only talked about the mechanics in that video, and I really didn't talk about how to actually start playing. And I've been trying to think over my mind about how to make like a video where I can sit down and talk about how to start TFT and really start to learn. But the main thing about TFT is that every skill set that is part of the game, you all learn at the same time. So making a video about any one specific, yeah, you can really do it, but it only really helps if you really know how, at least to a decent point, how the rest of the systems work as well. So what I've decided to do, and it took me 6 months to come up with this, is I'm going to do exactly the same thing where I just play through a game and I talk my way through the systems and kind of like the decision making that I make. And what I'm going to do is that this is actually a brand new account. It's not rated at all. I'm normally about masters rated, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this unranked account and I'm going to make a playlist of videos in which I answer questions and try and teach you how to get really good at TFT. And this is going to be a big playlist that's going to teach you how to go from the very basics of TFT and how to play all the way up to the masters level. So feel free to jump into the comments and ask any questions that you may have if you're new to TFT. If you are new to TFT and you don't even know like the mechanics or anything, maybe watch that other video. I'll leave a link in the description. It's called How to Play TFT Set 6. It's still pretty accurate. The only thing that's different is that they've added hero augments, which are augments that are specific to one champion instead of just being general to the entire team. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume that you've watched that video, and then we're just going to jump into this, and I'm going to start explaining some of the basics of how to play TFT and how to really start getting into the game. So when you load into the game, there's always going to be this first carousel. Every unit has one item, and this is going to be like your first sense of direction. This is actually kind of a not great carousel. You normally want to start off, and this is a tip that I learned from someone. Oh, we actually missed. Yeah, if you get contested, someone can steal the item from you. So normally what you want to do on the first carousel is you want to try and find a unit that's going to be able to use the item that's on them. Galio is not one of these. Sadly, he can't use a glove, but since there was only gloves and tiers, we didn't have much option. The game is designed to have a decent amount of variance, so you're not always going to be able to get whatever exactly you want every time. And after the first carousel, you're going to go into these 3 stages of minion rounds, and each round is going to drop at least one orb. That orb is going to either have gold. There, we just got 3 gold. It can also drop units, or it can also drop item components. Ideally, the way that you want to start doing these stage 1 rounds is if you have the money, I just buy everything in the shop. Really, the goal of stage 1 and kind of stage 2 is to see if you can get just any upgraded units as possible while also getting items that you know how to use into a strong comp. Right now we have a glove and a tier. This only makes a Last Whisper. What Last Whisper does is it increases armor reduction. So like the 2 units we have right now is Poppy and Wukong. They're both defenders, and Last Whisper would help against defender units. Ashe is a pretty strong unit early game, so it's worth picking her up. This Draven right here also synergizes with Wukong pretty well. And we don't have another Bruiser, or Brawler rather. Oh, we actually just made a decent amount of money, so I'm going to grab this. Now I just sold a Sona, who's a pretty good unit, some people say early game. Now I wish we had grabbed that Jinx, since that would have been a Jinx too. Here we're faced with our first augment. I really like playing a strong front line, and because I play a strong front line, normally Electrocute or Electrocharge is really good for tempo. Tempo meaning that you're playing the game fast, you're gonna like go higher levels and overpower your opponents by having just a strong front line or strong team that's stronger than theirs. So when your units receive critical strike damage, they deal 70 to 130 base damage. I really enjoy that as a just a good comp. Oh, we're actually gonna learn a little bit. That might be too complicated. Okay, I would normally play Recon or Underground here, but I think that's a little too complicated for like our purposes right now. So instead what we're gonna do is we're going to kind of set up what we've already got and make it a little bit stronger. So we're gonna keep our Poppy because we're hoping for a Poppy too. We don't have anything that really synergizes with the Sylas other than Anima Squad, and Anima Squad is not very strong early, so I'm going to rather hold this Ashe 2 instead. Now, we did lose this fight, actually, which is very interesting. I wasn't so sure we were going to lose this fight. Actually, Ezreal's a little bit stronger of a unit to hold. That would have been really good to play Underground. Oh, that would have been a Vi too? Okay, we're gonna play Vi. Basically, the way that this trait works, Brawler, is that every brawler that's in gets 20% maximum HP. So Vi normally has 700 and now has 840, and that just makes our front line a little bit stronger. Okay, we're actually going to sell these Jinxes. We don't really want them We're not going to do anything with them, so we'd rather make 10 econ to start getting our interest rolling. And kind of what we're thinking is we're trying to set up a front line and then have one backline unit. So Draven's really strong backline, but we're playing weak because we only have 2 item components. A lot of other people already have 3. Some of them aren't using, but that's because a lot of these people aren't super good at the game. Is we only have 3. We really should try and get this underground in. It works more the longer we play it. So not having it in is not super great. We can just sell every unit that's not underground for now. But especially now that we're about to hit level 4, since we get 2 interest every round, it's okay to now finally get in our 4 units, or 3 units, and then we still keep in Brawler, since Blitzcrank is a Brawler. The idea of the early game, which is normally stage 1, which is when we fought those minions, up to stage 3, is to try and find your early game advantage. And so basically, we're hitting one of the main advantages, which is econ. We're lose streaking, which means we get streak gold, but then also we're at 20 gold pretty early. Normally at 2-3, we only have 10 gold. And then we also just got underground in. So every time, oh, it didn't appear down here. Maybe we'll wait for a second. But every time we basically get 10 like stacks of underground, we're gonna get like a little vault down here that's going to open up, and it's gonna ask us whether or not we want to take what's inside or risk it to get something stronger. We're gonna take HP. The reason I'm taking HP here is just because it stacks up with Brawler. Whenever we put this like belt on our Brawler, they're also going to get synergized HP with their trait. So she's going to go from probably like having 700 up to, the belt gives 150, and then the 150 is also going to get the 20%. So another like, what, 35 HP, which is not bad at all. So yeah, right now she's at 840, and she's going to go up to 1020. So what, 180 HP? Not bad, not bad. And now she's a pretty strong unit. The way you play Underground is normally like you want to get these stacks up by losing a lot. Every loss you get 3, whereas every win you get 2. A lot of other people in this lobby so far seem to be playing very strong, which is actually kind of good that we played weak then, because they have no gold, so our advantage is going to vastly be in that we have a whole bunch of gold. It's unfortunate we took an augment that benefits playing strong rather than playing weak, but we got a decent opener for it, as well as we didn't really get a super strong opener to playing strong. We're just going to continue our lose streak. The main thing about lose streaks is that when you get to 2-6, if you've been able to lose streak the entire rest of the round, we want to keep this streak gold, because not only will we get 3 gold at the end of this turn because we've lost streaked 5 in a row, but we'll also get it at the end of this Krugs round. So it's really, if we lose the streak now, we don't lose just 3 gold, we lose 6 gold. So we're going to go look at the rest of the armies to see if anyone would ideally, like, probably beat us or lose to us. This one, I don't think we win against any of those actually, so I'm perfectly fine in this position. Kind of our hope is that we'll at least kill 1 unit. One of the most skilled players in China has been playing like a really cool Jax build, and it looks like a lot of people are going to be playing it. So we have continued our loss streak all the way through. You can win streak, though only like 1 or 2 people in a lobby can maintain a win streak the entire time, just because they have to hope that they don't fight each other. Oh, this guy actually got one. But that's not entirely normal that like 3 different people have a win streak through the entire lobby. It's actually fairly unnormal. We actually have a Yasuo pair in our shop as well, which is pretty good. If it was a lot of other units, we might not consider it. The main thing about Yasuo is he's a decent frontline unit, but he's also a duelist who pairs with our Kale. And so we go below 50, so we lose a little bit of interest, but the main thing is the whole point of gold is to find a unit you want anyways. So if you've already found the unit, then we don't need the gold to find them, is the idea. So I'm just going to grab this Yasuo, and we're going to lose 1 gold in order to hold it. Which isn't entirely true, because we might get gold here from these traits, but it doesn't look like we're getting any. Oh, we hit an Ezreal too. Now, something that we can do here is, because we just got a spatula, and spatulas were the hardest thing for me when I started playing, is spatulas can be mixed with any other item component in order to make a spatula or an emblem that gives someone who is not, say like we have this bow spatula, it'll make a duelist emblem. It'll make Ezreal a duelist, which he is not currently already. So if we just put this spatula here on Ezreal, he gains the duelist trait. What duelist does is duelist attacks grant bonus attack speed up to 10 stacks, and because we have 3 duelists, so we don't meet the 4 duelist threshold, they're just going to gain 6 attack speed every time they auto, which is pretty good, because it now bonuses this Ezreal that we got Ezreal 2, but it also benefits Yasuo over here and this Kale, and that's pretty strong. And now that we have a strong front line, we're also able to play pretty tempo. Gain a Fiora, and your team gains... Okay, so Fiora is an Oxforce duelist, and since we have 3 duelists on their board, this Oxfort trait, this is a hero trait, you'll get 1 of them every game. There's a 5% chance you don't get a hero augment, but we're just going to pick this Ox Vitality. And then also we cashed out on our heist. We don't have to accept this. We actually can continue the heist, and that'll make it so the next time it triggers, it's a little bit stronger than it is right now. So we're going to level up to 6. Still losing 1 gold, but it gets us up to 4 duelist. And now we want to play win streak, so we're going to play pretty strong. We have our decent front line, and now we have Ezreal, who's going to do a lot of damage. And then Fiora and Yasuo are going to help the front line out, and Kale's also going to do some decent damage as well. Over here, we're going to look at our damage chart just to see who's doing the most damage, because we probably want to start slamming items. A general idea is you want to slam... You never want more than 3 item components over here. Right now we have exactly 3, but you definitely never want more than 3. That's when it starts getting like... Oh, we almost won that too. They almost died. When you start getting more than 3, that's when you start leaving a lot of damage on the table. Ooh, that's a Neela as well. Neela's pretty strong as a frontline unit. Renekton's also pretty strong. I'm down to slam Infinity Edge just because it allows our abilities to crit, and it's the only thing that really benefits our damage out of these 3 items. I guess you could say Bloodthirster on this Yasuo too now, but I don't think that we're going to actually be able to play that. So we're going to put items here on this Ezreal and hope that he starts just churning out a lot more damage. Every unit should also be gaining 2% of their max health every time they attack because of this Ox of the Vitality. Plus, frontline units should be taking a lot of damage because every time we receive a critical strike, we do electric damage. Some of these people are actually playing quite strong. It might be because the net set's new, so like a lot of like the higher skilled players are actually still down here in like the lower tiers, or maybe just starting to play. Normally, the people are not this very good. A lot of people are playing quite competent. Now, just because we also want to beef up our front line a good bit, because our front line is dying. Maybe we're not doing enough damage. Let's do more damage. What a bow and a cloak is going to do is it's going to make it so every time Ezreal attacks, he sends off a second little arrow that's going to attack a second unit, and it's going to do 50% of his normal damage. So he normally does 103, so he'll send off another bolt that does 50, and he'll just become a little bit stronger. That's going to help kill units that he's not directly attacking. Now, something I've been thinking about doing is this Vi doesn't seem to be doing too much for our frontline, but so does this Blitzcrank. However, Neela is a pretty good frontline unit, and Gangplank is also a duelist, so we could get 6 duelists in if we level up. Put him in, and then we get 6 duelists, so we'll do significantly more damage than we were doing, because everyone's going to now be attacking gain 20% attack speed every auto instead of the 12 that they were just doing. But then also, there's just more people who are actually benefiting from that buff now. And we actually just ended a win streak from someone who's #1 in the lobby. Now this guy is also still win streaking, he's pretty strong. But that's going to be pretty good for us, because now he is making a little bit less gold every round. Now this Vayne actually might be a little bit better for us, because Vayne is a duelist recon, and Ezreal was already a recon, but now he's a duelist recon because of the spatula. So this is going to make our backline a little bit stronger. I also forgot to mention that Neela heals anyone on her team. So whenever she casts her ability, she's healing the entire team. And so when she's attacking a whole lot faster, she's healing the entire team. Yasuo and the rest of our frontline is also healing every time they auto because of this trait over here. So we actually do have quite a bit of frontline that is entirely based off of our attack speed. So having more attack speed is good for our frontline. And now you can see this Ezreal he's shooting a lot of arrows compared to what he normally was doing. And you can see this guy, he was also playing, he's playing 5 underground, which almost doubles how many like locks you get on this thing. So he's on heist level 4, so he's got a lot of stuff in his shop right now, probably. This is an interesting heist cash out. I'm going to consider continuing the heist. So generally we're hitting the end of stage 3 here. The end of stage 3 marks the end of the early game. This is where we've capitalized on getting a lot of gold early, and this has allowed us to push to level 7 pretty early. Normally you're level 7 actually quite a bit later. We just got a lot of units out of those orbs. 1 second, I'm calibrating.
I bring swift death.
We don't want this, we don't want this. We don't want these. These are a lot of duplicates. Ezreal's not really good if you 3-star him. He's not a very strong unit, so I'm not going to hold on to it. And then we don't need Poppy because we have no units that are even kind of that synergy. We can consider playing this Gangplank over Neela, hoping to out-damage them instead of needing the healing. Thieves' Gloves is pretty good. It makes random items out of whatever unit you put on. It's basically giving up choosing what items you're going to make in order to get double the items. And gloves aren't particularly great right now anyways. But end of stage 3 marks the beginning of the mid-game. This is when we want to start transitioning into what's going to be our final board. So we've managed to get a lot of econ. We got to level 7 pretty safely. And you can see we actually have a decent amount of HP compared to the rest of the lobby. The people who are in 4th and 5th have actually about the same HP as we do. Person first is actually still doing really good. They had a win streak angle. But we are going to try and beat them out by having enough gold, getting to 7 safely, but then also being able to get a good cash out from whatever we get from underground. So we're still technically a little behind the lobby maybe. We have Future Sight, Recon Heart. We don't need another Ezreal. I'm kind of down for Second Wind. Gives you a lot of healing after 10 seconds. So everyone who's taken damage, they're going to gain 40% of their missing health, which is actually quite substantial. And because we're actually quite strong right now by having 6 duelists in, we can pretty safely level up to level 8. I don't think we need to stay in 2-star. The only units that we don't need to, we still need to 2-star is this Vayne right here, but then also this Kayle, which I don't think is actually going to matter too much. We can level up and we can get in the Sejuani. Sejuani does it's called CC, or crowd control. It stuns the enemy team, which is quite valuable. It does a pretty big AoE CC, so being able to get her in is going to be pretty good. We're just going to keep our interest. You can technically level up down to 50 gold, but you want to stay above 50 gold when you're in this position. Something we should start considering around this stage of the game is what are we going to do as far as an endgame carry. Right now we have an Ezreal here. Ezreal is not going to be able to carry us for the rest of the game. He actually is going to get quite weak towards the end of stage 4, even if he is a duelist. So what we should think about is who are these items going to go on. They helped us get to this point, but how are we going to actualize them into a final board? Well, what I'm thinking is Runaan's and IE, or Infinity Edge, does a lot of crit damage, and we already have 6 duelists, so who's a duelist that we can put in later? My thinking is Zed is a 4 cost and he's quite strong. In fact, if we level up and we get in Neela and then we replace Ezreal with a Zed, that'll have us 7 duelists, and then we still have this emblem. So we can put the emblem maybe here on Sejuani and have 8 duelists, which is 30% attack speed per stack, and then put these items on it. Zed, and then he really likes Edge of Night. That's a really great item for him because he drops aggro. People will stop attacking him once he hits 60% health when he has Edge of Night. And we already have half of it right here, so if we just get another sword, we should be able to turn this Ezreal into a Zed. So we would hope for this sword here on this Leona. It's on a 5 cost unit, which is quite valuable, so I don't know if we'll get it. Sword is also a pretty valuable item. Okay, so now what we're thinking is what's the next best thing that we can make? We still have this belt here that we haven't completed, so that belt would have been really nice. But then also, what's another good item on him is a Titan's Resolve. Titan's Resolve is a bow plus a armor, which gives him 2 attack damage plus 2 ability power every time he autos, up to 25 stacks. So he can do it 25 times. And once he hits those 25 stacks, he also gains 25 armor and magic resist, which makes him a little bit harder to kill. Normally you really want healing on your Zed, but since we have healing from this Vitality of the Ox, and he's going to be attacking a lot since we're going to have a lot of duelists in, my hope is that he's going to heal a bunch from just attacking non-stop, and he's going to be able to get those stacks really quick, and those stacks are going to then make him harder to kill, and that's the plan. You can see this person, instead of leveling up to 7 or almost 8, they decided to sit at level 6, probably actually level 5, and they just re-rolled for Ashe. They wanted Ashe 3. And then they upgraded a bunch of units. They are stronger than us for now, but that will change, hopefully. It doesn't look like they have super great items, I don't think. They are about to hit a Renekton 3. I think once we hit a Zed, especially if we find Zed 2, I think we should be okay. Oh, actually, Death's Defiance is also another great item for the guy we're going to be playing, which is Zed. I don't know about this Death's Cap, or I don't know if we're going to find a way to use that, but I do like Locket of Solari. It gives a shield to everyone who's next to the person who uses it. Oh, we found a bunch of units that we do not want. But we also can level up now. Alright. And we're going to figure out these items in just a moment. We're about to hit a PvE round, which is where we're going to try. We're also level 8 now. So we're going to try and find our Zed. There's a 4 cost, and level 8 is the best place to try and find 4 costs. At some point, you want to start rolling at 7, but that's at a higher skill level, so we're not going to worry about that right now. You can see our Ezreal still doing most damage. That Thieves Gloves on Yasuo is also helping us out a lot. Actually, we just found a Zed naturally. Since we don't really care about Underground anymore, we're going to throw him in. And we're going to give him these items that we really like for him. And you can see we're sitting at 6 Duelist. Oh, we're sitting at 6 Duelist. I do believe we want Sejuani more so. We're probably going to get rid of this Vi. So she's probably going to just want some armor. It didn't make the item. She's also going to want Locket of the Solari in order to make everyone around her a little bit stronger. And we're going to give her a Duelist Emblem just to make her super strong. And you see Zed actually did a lot of damage, and he survives because of this Death's Defiance. Basically, Death's Defiance gives him Omnivamp, which is self-healing. He heals based off of the amount of damage he does. But then also he takes damage at 50% the speed. But then also half of the damage he takes is done slowly over time instead of being dealt to him all at once, which is pretty good. So we're going to play some 2-stars. This Locket of Solari gives a shield to everyone in 2 range from her. So we probably want this shield here on our Zed. We are going to start rolling just a 2-star Zed. We want him to be, one, have as much HP as possible, but then also deal as much damage as possible. So, trying to find a 2-star Zed. We actually might hit some 3-star things. There we go, 2-star Zed. We also could have really liked a 2-star Sejuani. I want to figure out where to put these AP items because Death's Cap is purely AP, which means it's based off of attacks, which means it does damage based off of your ability. Here's that guy with all the 3-stars earlier that we were a little scared of, but now he's gone. He is gone. We can make a Redemption plus a Giant Slayer, or we can make a Zeke's plus a Shiv, or we can make a Shojin plus a ZZ Rot. I don't really like ZZ Rot. I don't really like Shojin. So we're probably going to do something like Zeke's Shiv. But I also don't think that's particularly good. Ooh, we're sitting on an Urgot 2. Gonna roll just a little bit. Try and find this Sejuani 2. We're not finding it. Okay, so we're pretty strong right now. The only upgrade we're missing is the Sejuani. I also think that... I also do believe that Rabadon's Death Cap... Actually, this is what we're going to do. No, we're going to change the decision. We're going to level up to 8, and we're going to get in this Urgot. And Urgot can use this Death Cap, plus he can use the Giant Slayer. So we're going to slam Redemption here on our Neela. And it gives just AoE healing. And that's really good since our entire team's kind of in this big clump. So anytime she does do the healing, she's going to heal almost all of our units. And you can see we're still at 50 HP. We're win streaking. We've been winning for 4 fights. And we're actually still quite strong in the most of the lobby. 3 people are out. That's because of just like a low skill level. If you're a higher level, I think right now is when people would start dying. But some of these people have been out for a couple of turns now. So we just need 72 gold in order to go 8. There's actually a... that would give us a Urgot 3 right there. Or Urgot 2 when we went level 9. And fit him in. Okay, well, someone took him, so that's okay. So we're going to take this Guard Breaker. Guard Breaker is an item that does a lot of damage to shielded enemies. It's pretty good. So it actually is probably going to go on this Urgot as well. And we now just need 1 golden actually to level up. So basically, stage 5, this is the end of our what I call the mid game. Mid game is stage 4 and stage 5. We've played it pretty well, which is we found our carry. We kind of built up what the majority of our comp is going to be. And now our goal is to figure out what is our end goal. Our end goal is actually getting this Urgot in and being able to go level 9 and have a 2-star Urgot. Urgot does a big CC to half of the enemy team. So being able to get Urgot in is actually extremely valuable and should do a lot for our team. And should allow us to win. We're about to beat this CC creation guy. Oh, we actually beat him quite easily. So yeah, if we get in the Urgot, he should not be able to catch up to us, and that is the goal of our end game. Our end game is going to be getting in Urgot, and then just paying attention to, oh, there's our Urgot too. So being able to level up right now is actually really good. Because we have just hit our win condition, I'm pretty sure. So we should be able to beat any of these lobbies or any of these fights for the rest of the game. I'm quite confident. And if they do get stronger, the only way we can get stronger is this Sejuani right here. Because we played the early game so well and we played the mid game so well, we were able to get here quite safely. This gets harder in stronger lobbies. He also hit Jax 3, which is a little scary, but I don't think it should be too bad for us. Again, we heal on every auto, so he might not be able to out-damage us. I don't think he should be able to. Oh, he's healing a lot. Oh, but it doesn't matter. The little Vayne that could. That was actually pretty close. Now, it was probably largely close because the Sejuani is a 1-star, and he killed the Sejuani pretty quick. A lot of damage came out of the Zed. A lot came out of the Urgot. And we'll find this Sejuani too pretty soon. So yeah, in high elo lobbies, you're not going to be able to be this healthy. It definitely is more of like based off of your optimization of playing. Runaan's could also probably be pretty good, give a little bit more strength to some of our units that are doing a little bit better, like Vayne. Just made Vayne a little stronger. Makes her proc twice. And she's sitting in the back gaining a lot of damage, so she doesn't die. She's going to be able to get up to the 10 stacks that Duelist has, whereas like this Gangplank definitely isn't. And yeah, I'm not scared at all. We should be stronger than everyone else. Now, some games, based off of like what comp you play, you're definitely not going to get first. There are some comps that just can't get first. And there are some comps that are like really great for getting first, but if you don't get first, then you go 8th. That's first or 8th. There are several pro players that play that kind of way. I am very much like a safe 3rd, safe 2nd. I really like playing that play style. And Urgot, every time he casts his ability, has a pretty high chance at being able to spawn items or gold just from his treasure chest. So that's another way to like earn econ pretty easily. We can see we beat the guy in first place with no problem. Oh, we have Bloodthirster here as well. Who's doing a lot of damage? You, Vayne, Yasuo, Gangplank. Maybe we can just give it to Gangplank. He's a frontline unit. We do want our frontline units to do more damage.
I'll deal with it.
I'm really not happy that we don't have this Sejuani too, so there we go. Something you also can now do, say like we were scared of this guy getting stronger or this guy getting stronger, we can go for Zed 3. If we can find four more Zeds, since we have nothing else to look for, and we have pretty decent gold and the lobby's going to last for another line, our win condition might actually be Zed 3 and finding what, 5 more at this point. So it is worth holding on to a couple right now, even if it seems like we're pretty far off. Because if you're pretty far off now and you never hold them, then you're never going to find them. But if you hold them now and you have nothing else to really wait for, then it's okay to hold these Zeds. You technically also can do it for Urgot, since there's an Urgot right here. The chances on getting an Urgot 3 are very low. You only have a 16% chance at 5 cost appearing in your lobby, in your shop anyways, where you have a 30% chance for 4 costs like Zed. So half the chance to find Urgot. But then also there are less 5 costs, so it might actually not be that different. I have hit Urgot 3 once. It is not very common, and he's really cool. What he does is he sends a tidal wave on the entire board, and he also gives you like 19 item components. It's quite strong. But now that we have a Sejuani too, you can see his Jax get stuck on us for quite a bit longer. Oh, but his Jax is also able to kill our dude pretty easily. Oh, he might win this. Jax is a pretty strong champion. When we're going against this guy, we should probably start our Zed on the edge of the board instead. Or it might be a difference of having a Titan's Resolve or not, since he doesn't have the tank stats. Oh, we have a lot of items over here. I didn't even realize this. I keep forgetting that we have those. Okay, this actually might become an Urgot 3 angle, since we have so many more Urgots than we have anything else. It's kind of weird to make a YouTube video trying to like teach beginners and then naturally hit Urgot 3, but we are quite strong, so I mean, it's not that out of pocket. Basic idea for positioning right now is all his units are here in the this side of the board. So if we can get this Sejuani to kind of poke into that side of the board, it's more likely to CC all these units so that they can't attack for a little while. So instead of her having her here where the Nilah was and only doing the center of the board, now she can get this whole corner. Oh, shit. We are losing. Okay, so I said we were a lot stronger. We were not. Nilah is also a pretty strong champion, but it looks like they lost to the Jax as well. Something we're going to have to now do is commit. We have to commit to one of these two units to try and find them 3-star. We're just going to roll down all our gold. That's why we wanted to save our gold earlier, just to be able to get all that interest. We're not finding any Zeds or Urgots, which seems quite unlikely. Oh, there was a Zed I just rolled past.
Hear me roar. Roar.
Okay, well, we thought about it earlier, and we think Zed needs to be on the corner, so that's what we're going to focus on. You need a Giant Slayer Runaan's. That's going to help us do a bit more damage. Now, because of that, he did not instantly attack our Zed, and now a lot of people are going to be manualing this Jax at the same time, so that helped us stay alive. Hopefully we're able to find 3 more Urgots, but sometimes it is true that your win condition actually is based off of better positioning as well, not purely based off of being able to do a lot of, not purely based off of getting a 3-star. Sometimes just having your units positioned in a smart way is also just as good. If we get a duelist spat right now, that would actually be quite nice. But of course we do not. This seems pretty good. Alright, and we didn't find it, unfortunately. I do think this positioning is pretty good for us. I do want to put this... Oh, wait, no, this positioning. I do want to put this position more towards this side. We want to kill this Leona pretty quickly. Leona does like true damage, which means it doesn't matter how much armor you have. It does damage anyways. And it looks like we were able to break through his entire, like, oh, we might not be able to beat this. Oh, no, we do. And now we just have to worry about this guy. Oh, he hit a 3-star Taliyah, which is not great. That's a pretty scary unit. Oh, no. So, yeah, this lobby was kind of... this lobby was kind of scary. Oh, I just sold Urgot. Oh, man. I meant to sell, like, board just looking for Urgot, see if we could find him. There is no chance. We never win this fight. It's okay. It happens. So they hit their win condition, and their win condition was better than ours, so we were just cemented on 2. I mean, if we hit the Urgot 3, there was a huge chance we would win that, but you can't win every game. So yeah, this is kind of like my introduction into some of the mechanics of the game. I think you have to learn a lot of it over time, so please feel free to ask any questions. This is like just me trying it out. I really like this format. I think it's a lot easier to try and talk about it. So if you have any questions about how to play TFT, please give me questions in the comments down below, and I'll try my best to make another video tomorrow and be able to reach out to you and help you actually learn how to play the game a little bit better. The main point I was trying to get across with this video is the main early point of the game is trying to figure out what actually you're trying to do as far as like your advantage. We didn't have very strong units, so instead we tried to get a lot of gold, and then we naturally found a lot of duelists, so we built into a duelist comp, and we used that extra gold and able to go level 7 and level 8 pretty easily, and be able to find our Zed, and Zed was able to carry us into the mid game and late game, and then we went level 9 pretty easily with Urgot. And the only reason we lost this game is because this person managed to find Talia too, and they also were win streaking the entire game, so their main advantage was the entire game they were very strong and were able to go and find this Talia 3 and did kind of what we did, but we played weak and they played strong. So, and if I'm able to help you at all, please leave it in the comments down below, and if this video is informational to you at all, please consider hitting the subscribe button. As always, I have been Murder Muffin, you guys have been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.